What's up, and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now, today we have had the very, very fun experience of talking to Bruce Mathieu, an ex-convict who took drugs, was in and out of prison a lot of times before he finally made the resolution to change for the better. And of course, now he's a motivational speaker. He's also a food content creator, and of course, a very enlightening experience to hear him talk about his battle with drugs, and then to hear him share very openly about his struggles, about how it affected him, affected his family. And, I really think it's such an important person, to tell youth nowadays to never try drugs, because all it takes is just, that one thought and say, why not? Why not just try once? And then, for the rest of your life, it's ruined already. Without further ado, before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor. This week's episode of the Chit Chatter is brought to you by our friends at SMSDome, a Singapore-based marketing company that helps brands reach households through targeted campaigns. They're the team behind the Tri-Lay booklet, a curated pack of deals, promos, and freebies from different brands across Singapore. Now, this National Day edition is their feature booklet for the months of July and August, available as both an e-booklet and a physical coupon pack delivered right to residents' letterboxes and screens, so you can discover new products and stretch your dollar this National Day. Inside the Tri-Lay National Day e-booklet, you will find a feature from W Optics, Singapore's own eye care partner trusted by families for eye checks, eyewear, and lenses. In this edition, they are offering free lenses with any frame purchases starting from $89, and you can also upgrade your lenses to options like Crizal, Verilux, Transitions, Kodak, Nikon, or Zeiss if you want better comfort and visual performance. It is the perfect time to scan the W Optics page, locate a store near you, and bring your prescription down to refresh your glasses while the National Day promotion is still running. So whether you are hunting for dining deals, beauty promos, everyday essentials, or a meaningful cause to support, the Tri-Lay National Day edition has something for everyone. Just head to the link in our episode description to check out the latest Tri-Lay National Day e-booklet today. And now, back to the episode. Now, our guest today is a Singapore-based motivational speaker and anti-drug advocate whose life story is one of addiction, incarceration, and redemption. After spending years trapped in drugs and prison, he turned his experience into a message of hope, now speaking about recovery, fatherhood, and second chances. To learn more about our guest, please join me in welcoming Bruce Mathieu.
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
So I wanted to ask whether I pronounce your name right, because I saw that in your other interviews, they don't pronounce your surname as Mathieu. It's like Matthew, right?
Okay, so my Matthew is French. So the anglicized version is Mathew lah. So in Mandarin, it's still Matai. 好像马太福音一样Matai. So your pronunciation is spot on. No worries.
There, another thing I find it very interesting is that you can speak a variety of language. You can speak Malay, Chinese, I think Hokkien, English.
Cantonese. Yeah. Let's be honest. Every Singaporean is minimally bilingual. Yeah. Most of us, English is our first language. And then we take a second language, which is either Mandarin, Malay, or Tamil. For me, it was Mandarin. I also had a third language in school, which was French, but I only learned like 2 years. And language is such, if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's been so long, I've not been speaking French. I've lost almost everything. But don't test my linguistic prowess or my Hokkien. Just to let you know, my Hokkien is a lot better than my Mandarin.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, right, Bruce, what have you been busy with?
Okay, I've been out of prison 10 years. And this 10 years, I've done quite a number of things. My first job was at Teen Challenge Singapore, which is a halfway house. I was there for about 14 months. After that, I worked in a cafe, a social enterprise for 3 years. Then I was contracted to a media company for 1 year. After my contract ended, I've been out on my own until today. So we're talking about 3年, 4年, 5年, about 4 years on my own.
You were sharing before you came on, you coach people, you coach some of the at-risk youth as well.
I do a lot of stuff. The bulk of my earnings come from, of course, content creation. Judging from my size, it's food lah. Food is Singaporeans' favorite pastime. So with that, I guess you can't miss. So there will be companies or stalls or eateries hiring me to do promotional videos for them. So that is where the bulk of my money comes from. The rest of my time is spent in doing motivational talks in schools, in organizations. I've spoken in more than 40 schools, yeah. The most recent one was Admiralty Secondary just a few days ago. And I do counseling, I do mentorship programs, befriender programs with people both in prison and out of prison.
I always like to ask my guests about their origin stories. How was your growing up story like, and how did your battle with addiction start?
I come from a single parent family, no siblings. For the longest time, it was only my mother and myself against the whole world. As such, being a single parent, my mom had to go out to work all the time. So I was very lonely at home. No siblings, no nothing. 13, I went out to look for my peers. And sad to say, I looked for them in the wrong places. So I joined a gang, and shortly into joining a gang, just 3 months, they introduced me to my first stick of weed, ganja, marijuana. I'd be very upfront with you. I tried it the very first time. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved the liberation, the high that drugs gave me. I guess at 13, no one really thinks about actions and consequences. So when I fell in love with drugs, I had to pay the price of my love affair with it or with her for the next 33 years of my life. Wow. 33 years, which consists of 5 times in prison, amounting to about a 20-year sentence. And I have also been given 21 strokes of the cane.
The Liang Ziqiang got one movie called 三个好人. They say like the cane is like gonna run over by a truck. Is it really like that, or is it like even worse?
I guess if you get run over by a truck, you die, right?
Okay.
But this one, you won't die, but the pain is there all the time. The pain is excruciating. It's excruciating. So what one had to understand is that we are strapped onto an A-frame. So there's no way of you running off. But that is not the worst part. I am a former gang member. So in prison, as a gang member, you have rules that you have to follow. No? In Hokkien, when I'm going to as a gang member, you cannot say anything. You have to grit your teeth and just take it. If you happen to that is it. Few things will happen or might happen. If you go back to the hall, you get ostracized. Sometimes in more serious cases, you might even get punished by your gang.
You said that you were in and out of jail, I think 5 times. So could you just briefly describe what you were behind bars for?
For assortment of things, first time was in for theft and drug possession and drug consumption. Second time, I was in for robbery. The third time I was in for, there were a lot of cases. The bulk of it was cheating. I had a stabbing case, offensive weapon, forgery. Fourth time was possession of drugs. 第五次呢是 for drug consumption, LT, long term, and assault of public servant. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it.
Okay, one of my questions is that because I think from your other interviews, I saw that, I think in between, I forget which was your sentence, you actually came out and started quite a successful business, right? Fruit juice and beer or something. I forget what was it. Why do you think like you keep going back to the same cycle again when actually you seem to be living quite a successful business, when you were out of jail?
So what you have to understand is this. When a person is addicted to drugs, it's not as simple as what the public thinks, no. I don't blame the public because they've never been on my side of the fence before. To them is, 哎呀，你这么久没有吸毒了，出来戒就好咯，不要再吸咯。Addiction is not as simple as that. When you're addicted to drugs, your whole mindset, your whole mind, brain is rewired. Your pleasure pathways. I find no pleasure in ordinary things. My brain don't excrete endorphins, right? So things like, for example, when someone does sports or eat chocolate, they get a spurt of happiness, excitement. I don't. When I was doing my business, I was earning quite a bit of money. Life was okay. I guess wariness set in because, to run a business is every day, 早上8点到10点. I don't go out, I don't anything. Then inside my mind, I start formulating, giving myself excuses. So one day I just met someone who was selling drugs and he casually asked me, hey bro, how, you want some? I agreed. And that was the beginning of, I guess, my 4th time in prison. Going back for the 4th time. So what I want the public to understand is, I know they mean good. If addiction was can be so easily stopped, we won't have 85% of our prison population, 85%, they're in for either drug or drug-related offenses.
Okay, so looking back, do you think that your troubled upbringing played a part in you mixing with the wrong crowd at a young age?
I mean, to be honest, yes. I have seen a lot of children growing up without either one of their parents with them. When a child grows up without either one of their parents, they don't grow up on equal footings with their peers. Something is missing in their life. My mom, an extraordinary woman, I have to say, really extraordinary. She did her best to give me a good life, a comfortable life. I don't blame her for anything that happened to me. You know, she did her best. 我没出息咯, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. Instead of choosing the right path, I chose the wrong path. So, did
Understand.
my troubled youth played a big part? Yes. But that being said, my mom also played a pivotal role in me coming out of it.
I think even at one point you said that even with her diagnosis of, I think, was it cancer?
Breast
She still
cancer, yes.
insisted that she wanted to check out and to make sure that she came to prison to see you once a week.
And each visit lasts only 20 minutes now. And I tell you, visit at 20 minutes, she had to line up, queue up for more than 1 hour, nearly 2 hours, you know.
Oh.
Just to see me for that 20 minutes. That didn't sit well with me. Addiction is such when your life is so embroiled in it, you don't really think about the consequences. Yep. That's how dangerous drugs are. And yet, I feel so fearful for our teens today. Really am. I think you and the whole of Singapore know, kids nowadays, they're doing K-pods. I've seen children as young as 14, 15 doing K-pods. A news article, there was a girl, I think it was a female girl. She got caught for taking drugs. She was only 12.
Yeah.
So 12 years old. Can you imagine that? They're starting young now. Drug traffickers are targeting our teens, you know, and this has got to stop. For many teens, it is an experience they want to try because, come on, like you see a lot of it in movies, and it looks very cool when someone take drugs, you know, especially with MTV. You have rappers like Snoop Dogg. Yeah. All right. But smoke weed and get high. Teens and the younger generation don't understand. It is not as simple as that. Once drugs has its claws in you, you are screwed, you know. Some may argue that, no, Bruce, I'm just trying soft drugs. To me, drugs, every form of drugs is drugs. There's no soft drugs or hard drugs. Once you are addicted, once you allow a substance to dictate the quality of your life, you're screwed.
So the next part of the interview, actually, I wanted to explore about your time in prison because I think I watched the CNA series called Inside Maximum Security. So I wanted to ask, I think first of all, how do you look back upon your time spent behind bars? Like, do you think that it was beneficial, or like do you feel that there are things that could have been changed, or how do you look back upon it?
First time I went to prison was in 1992 or 93, and when I came out, it was 2016. So I've seen the best, I've seen the worst of them, and I've seen the best of them. In 1992, when I went in, there is no such thing as rehabilitation. Yeah. It was entirely about punishment. And I don't think prisons would argue this with me. But throughout the years, especially with the advent of the Yellow Ribbon Project 21, 22 years ago, I have seen a huge change in prison policies, in the way they treat inmates and help inmates. You know, Singapore is one of the only country that I know that has this thing called true care, where an inmate is taken care of both in care and out care. That means when you're inside, they will take care of you, send you to courses that they think will be beneficial to you, counseling. And when you come out, you can look for agencies that can also assist you in your reintegration. Where else can you find that in the world? The only thing I see online is this. People who have never been in the system, they don't understand. And what they're prone to do is only criticize. 哇，我们的政府假烂了，我们的政府假烂. But for someone like me, no leh. I've been in the system for a long time. I've seen the improvement. And when I compare that to other prisons in the world, I tell you honestly, I salute our government. If they're not helping my peers, I won't be wasting my time to go back inside. I have my prison pass for 7 years already. I won't be wasting my time going back inside to counsel, to mentor, to do workshops with my peers.
Because I have a own startup. So when we reach out to Yellow Ribbon Project, right, they were actually very, very adamant that the ex-inmates that come out for job interviews, right, they are not specially treated. They are like as any Singaporeans at school, they get equal chance at interview and whatnot. Oh.
I disagree. Inmates, believe it or not, we get special treatment. We have more benefits. We have more benefits than ordinary citizens. Honestly, people are unaware of it because when companies go inside to do job fair, they already know that these people are inmates and they are prepared to give them a chance at employment. Knowing that most of these people carry extra baggages with them. Because don't forget, when you do hire a person, especially when they're just out of prison, you're not only hiring them. These people carry a lot of baggages with them. Yeah. And these employers do employ them knowingly. So for that, I'm very grateful. But that is not to say that there are not employers who also exploit to be fair. All right, to be fair. As a nation, is Singapore accepting of ex-inmates like us, ex-offenders like us, or the preferred term today is called desister? The answer is, I see an improvement, but we are not there yet. People have the right to decide whether they want to employ you or not, whether they want to accept you or not. Because the last I checked, Singapore is still a democracy. So we have freedom of choice. If, as an employer, I need to hire someone, let's say, for example, a cashier, 2 come for interview, 1 with record, 1 without record. Who would I hire? 不用讲的. Automatically the one without record. Because at the end of the day, the employer is still running a business. They have to protect their own business. Many ex-offenders, they spoil the market. People give them a chance, second chance, 3 chances to change, and yet they spoil things. They don't understand is this. Each time someone gives you a chance and you screw up, it doesn't only affect him, It affects his and every one of his peers. People who are coming out of prison also. The standard phrase lah. 你看啊, leopard never change his spot. 跟他不会改的, 那你可以给他们机会. I really don't blame them because my peers spot the market. That being said, I also want the public to understand that not everyone is like that. There are sincere individuals who really desire change, really want to change. That employment, that one chance that they get, that might be the catalyst to help them, to propel them towards a new life. I mean, Murphy's Law, anything can go wrong, will go wrong. I'm not saying 100% will change. Probably starting out very strong. That's it. I don't know. But it is not all lost because that person or that employer might be a link in the chain that connects to his ultimate rehabilitation.
What do you think was the hardest part about being in prison?
The hardest part of being in prison, believe it or not, loneliness. One would think that when one hall consists of about 300 inmates, you would think that in a sea of 300 people, you would feel crowded. Actually, no. It feels quite lonely. It is very difficult to get along with people, especially people of different character. And in our cell, which consists of 3 or 4, there's no guarantee that everyone in the cell would click with you, Yeah, some people can be very eccentric, quite PR, right? And we have many of that in prison. If you live in a cell with one of those, it's either you endure or you start something in order to change the cell.
Can you request for a change in cell or cellmate?
You can, but they also want to know the reason why. And as much as possible, they try not to accede to that request. Because can you imagine everyone wanting to do it? Inmates will give excuse lah. 我要换房间, 为什么 I cannot get along? But most of the time, it's not because of that. Most of the time, they want to live together with a gang member. So can you imagine every single day, 我要换房间, 我要换房间. So they have to really take the time to go and check it out whether this is true or this is not. Giving to one request, I tell you, the inmates, we have this thing, 为什么他可以我不可以? Why you can, why you cannot? Always this kind of thing.
How was a typical day in prison like? Like when was the time that you all can go exercise? When was the time you all had to go back to your cell?
Prison is divided into 3 phases, which people don't know. Initial phase is called lockup phase. Second phase is called work phase. And the third phase is called pre-release phase. The lockup phase, of course, is the worst because you are only allowed, they say 1 hour, but most of the time only 45 minutes out of your cell.
Oh.
And if it's a public holiday, jialat. Let's say today Sunday, tomorrow public holiday, pork. Because it'll be 48 hours of you not going out of the cell.
Oh.
Whoa. Yes. So can you imagine the old Changi prison? They allow us out daily because there's no shower facilities in the cell. Shower facilities are downstairs. So by Geneva Convention, the rules, they have to allow prisoners to come down. But on public holidays, we're let down like maybe half an hour or what, then we have to quickly go up. Today, you have shower in the cell. Only thing is they can off and on the water. So you have water rationing. When the time comes, they're on the water, you bathe. If not, that's it. And the rest of the time, you sit in the cell. So for inmates, all of them will have their own survival tactics. Some like to play games. They will make games out of paper. Some like to talk non-stop. For me, I love to read, which I could read. I'm not joking. I can read from lights on until lights off. And I don't like talking inside the cell. Honestly, inside, you hear all the story, all play, repeat, play, stop, rewind, repeat. It's all the same story. 10, 20, 30, all the same story. Talking about, 我以前50号我一个打10个 those kind. First 4 times when I was in prison, I never thought about quitting. In my mind back then, I was a career gangster. I'm going to be a gangster forever, But the last time in prison was very different because I had a child. That made me rethink my life, especially one episode when my daughter came to visit me and she wanted to carry it. She wanted me to carry it because it was her birthday and I could not carry. And she started crying. I tell you, dude, that my heart really broke. Really, it shattered. Because of that event, it got me rethinking about my life. What am I doing with my life? Everyone has only one life to live. How well you want to live your life, how badly you want to live your life, it's entirely in the palm of your hands. Prison, believe it or not, is the best place to do reflection. Some inmates which I've counseled or spoke to will say, I come out, then I do. Nonsense. When they come out, no time to do it already. Really. The best time to do is inside. There are very little distractions inside. You don't have television in your cell. The only distraction, maybe you have a cellmate like to one jalat lah. If not, you reflect. Really. It's the best time. So during my last imprisonment, which was 5 years and 9 months, I spent a lot of time reflecting. And I realized one thing. Reflection helps a person to gain a lot of wisdom, to understand themselves better and to gain tons of wisdom.
So to give our listeners some context, I think when you said that your daughter wanted you to carry her, she was 4 years old then, right? You said.
Yeah, it was a
4-year-old in the previous interview.
Yeah.
By the time you came out the last time and you carried her, I think she was already in primary school, was it?
7, going to primary 1. I came out in November on a prison program.
Just nice.
So, prison program, my full sentence was supposed to be 8th of March, but I went on a 3-month prison program. So I came out for a program on the 25th of November. So just like 2 months shy of her primary 1. So at least, I could bring her to school for the first day.
Was it initially very hard to convince your family members that this is really the last time? Because like you say, you've been in and out so many times.
I guess it's not only me. Families had enough of hearing their loved ones saying, sumpah, this is going to be my last time. And I think I understood this concept already. So much so that I told myself, I let my actions speak for itself. And I guess the happiest person was my mom.
What are some of the steps that you had to take so that you really make sure that this was the last time that you're going to go back in?
I totally cut off from contacting my friends because a lot of them, or some of them, they are still taking drugs recreationally. Some might even be addicted to it. I don't know. But I don't want to take the risk, because I understood that if I were to go back to them again, just think about this. All drug addicts, whether they want to admit it or not, we are all weak-willed people. Because if we are not weak-willed, we won't be drug addicts in the first place, right? Correct? Number 1. Number 2, let's say if you had made up your mind, really, Very determined. I don't want to take drugs again. But here's the problem. If you go out with your friends again and again, you don't eat chicken rice. Your friends every day eat chicken rice. You every day eat prata. Are you telling me one day, just that one day, you won't try chicken rice? And believe it or not, many times, the one time they try the chicken rice, shit hits the fan. I have seen many cases like this in prison. There's this guy, he stopped taking drugs for 20 years. 20 years, he was in my cell. 20年没有动毒品. One day he went out drinking, he met old friends. 很多年没有见面了. Wow, then they were very happy, talk to him. Suddenly the guy said, hey, I got some stuff with me. How? You want to try? Want to take? He told me himself, wow, 老你顾无懂了，不要紧啦，让他们去 try. He went toilet, he smoked, don't 3 or 4 puff only. He came back out, continue drinking. 10, 15 minutes, lights all came on. Like police, check. That's why I said Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And I think after 20 years, because when police screen you, they don't put what charges you have. They only put like red, which is wanted, orange, which has record, or green, totally clean. But I'm pretty sure panic showed on his face. You know, and that panic got him pulled back to the station and gave urine test and came out positive. Sentenced to 3 years. 20 years of hard work. A moment of letting his guard down, he had to pay with 3 years of his life. That is why my advice to the youths out there, don't try it. You might think that, wow, I just want to try one time, I'm going to stop. Okay? I just want to see how the high is like. You know, almost everyone that I meet in prison who is inside for drug or drug-related cases all say the same thing. I just want to try one time. 试试看怎么哈, then after that stop. They never stop. The oldest one in prison for drugs during my last incarceration was 82 years old. 82, huh? And I knew him since I was a teen. At 82, he's still inside for LT. Some would say, I take drugs one time only, you won't get addicted. Yeah? You won't get addicted physically. Physical addiction is the least of your worry, because physical addiction, you spend enough time to wean it off. Your body doesn't crave for the drugs already. Body, physical addiction, least of the worry. Mental addiction, that one. That addiction can happen the very first time. Like it happened to me and many other people. And mental addiction is the biggest problem. Because mental addiction, we have to carry with us until the day we die.
Actually, I'm very interested in how you became, number one, a content creator, and number two, how you became a motivational speaker. So how do you become like a food content creator, and how do you become a motivational speaker?
You're half right and half wrong. I didn't come out preparing to share my life. In prison, I'm a Christian. During one of my daily quiet time, like we call quiet time, where we do our study our Bible, we pray, I receive a message from God. Okay. People who are not Christians, they will not understand this. I had this strong feeling that God wants me to do something. I didn't know what it was, you know. But we mere mortals, okay lah, God, you say 主啊，你说做我就做咯. I didn't know what it was. On the very first day that I came out on my prison program in November, the ball started rolling already. Pastor Luke of Teen Challenge, was the executive director of Teen Challenge, asked me to share my life story. And one thing led to another. And I've been sharing for the past 10 over years. So I've shared both locally and abroad too. The Thai government had even, in 2022, invited me to Thailand to speak in a regional forum. And that regional forum, I was the first ex-offender to speak down there. That regional forum is only attended by the movers and shakers of the prison and justice department. I was the first ex-offender to speak down there. Spoken in a lot of symposiums, forum. I have spoken in over 40 schools. I have spoken in NIE to teachers, organizations like SMRT. I've spoken at CMB HQ. Once I came out of prison, I saw that my life was heading in that direction. And to me, it is a mission. It is not a means to earn money. No, it is a mission. Most of my talks are pro bono. Most of the work that I do are pro bono. Where I get money or put food on the table is through my content creation. And how I got into that, many people don't know this. When I came out of the army in 1990, I saw an advertisement on television, in the newspaper, SBC. Back then, MediaCorp was called SBC, Singapore Broadcasting Corporation. Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to engage dubbing artists. Back then, they only had Chinese drama.
Yeah.
So I applied, I got a job. So I dubbed movies like 雾锁南洋, 小飞鱼 and all that. Yeah, for the older generation, parts of it. While I was a dubbing artist, they wanted to start an English drama section. And I was one of the 30 people that they had selected. I went for part of the course, but then I went back to drugs. So I didn't get to finish. So that was my first foray in the media. Second foray was in 2007. I did Just for Laughs Asia. I was one of the main cast. By the way, I don't do cameo. I don't do extras. I only do main role. So I was one of the main character. I was one out of 3 male main cast. Believe it or not, tourists in Singapore recognize me. So many times. Hey, can we take picture? Son, really, I'm not boasting. It really happened to me. Then, of course, go back to drugs again. So back then, besides Just for Laughs, I did a few episodes of the news.
Okay.
Once a small part in one of local drama, English drama. But after that, I went to prison. I have appeared in 90.5, Hear Only the Good Things. They had 3 advertisements. Mine was the second one, the driving instructor. That advertisement won a bronze award in New York.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me with hair. And some of you might be wondering, why am I bald? Is it because the weather is hot? The answer is no. I just finished filming for an English drama for MediaCorp. So the drama will be out in August. I have a small role in it. It's 65 episodes. I appear in episode 50 until 65. So this is my third foray into the media, which I always love. From primary school, I took part in storytelling competition, both English and Mandarin. When the media company asked me if I want to join them, I readily agreed. And I was, I was very happy about it. My boss back then was Kenneth Liang. So Kenneth Liang is the guy who started Talking Points and Fighting Spiders.
Okay, so was it difficult for you to speak openly about your past when you first started out?
Okay, everyone that comes out of prison, everyone has a story to tell. Only a few issues. One of them is that not everyone is eloquent. Not everyone can put their thoughts into words. And thirdly, or most importantly, understand this, when someone chooses to share their past, especially in prison, inevitably, their family will also get the spotlight. Are they prepared to allow this to happen? So for my case, like I said, I have already had an inkling of what I wanted to do in prison. And when I came out, of course, I didn't just go and do it right away. I had actually asked my mom, because I know that the spotlight, if I go and share the spotlight, ultimately, she will get a spotlight too. And I don't know whether she wanted the spotlight or not.
Yeah.
I sat her down, exactly where I'm sitting now. My mom used to sit down here. I told her. And without batting an eyelid, immediately she said, Kito, dia just me lo Kito, be okay. My mom was such a supportive person. And because she said that, I never looked back.
So do you think like the sharing about experiences also help you heal?
It's more of a reminder, I guess. Not more of healing, but a reminder that, Bruce, don't go back to your old ways again.
So I think we can end with a round of quickfire questions. Okay.
Bring it on.
So the first question is a funny story from prison that you can share with us.
During my last incarceration, okay, like what I shared earlier on, in prison, it's so boring inside that people will always devise ways to entertain themselves. Okay. So there was this guy. Back then, before I came out, there was this period where threading, threading.
Yeah.
Threading became a trend inside there. During one Sunday where, most of us were locked up inside, the fella started threading his eyebrow. Then I think he overshot, because when he came out the next day from his cell, before going up to the yard, we have to step up for inspection. The officer will walk past to check whether 你有伤痕 or not, you have any blue-black marks, just to make sure that you guys didn't fight inside the cell last night. When he walked past his face, you look at the guy and you ask that guy, what happened to your eyebrows? Because both the eyebrows were about like this on here, 2 dots only. You know, like those Japanese gays. I'm not joking. My gosh, it was so funny. We are all trying not to laugh, you know. Officer asked him, what happened to your eyebrow? And you know what that guy did? Nothing, sir, nothing. How can there be nothing? 2 dots left, not once. Not like this, became 2 dots. The officer said, never mind, go and pay your bang. Go PC first. Funniest event that ever happened in prison. Wow, piang. Okay, dude, if you're listening out there, you know who you are.
Favorite prison food?
My favorite prison food as a worker is Mary Biscuit sandwich. So every day we get a cup of hot bath in the morning, which is either coffee or tea, and 3 slices of bread. So some days it will be just butter, some days will be jam, but some days, no, my time no more kai. So it's either butter or jam. So as a worker, you're allowed to buy like biscuits and all that. So on days where they have tea, I love to take my Mary biscuit and dip inside the tea until it's soft, keep it inside my sandwich, and some more we are allowed to buy peanut butter. Put a bit of peanut butter. Whoa, I tell you guys, even until today, I'm still eating it. It is that good. It is that good. Don't believe me? Go and try.
Favorite food out of prison?
Favorite food? Home cook lah. My mom's home cook. You know, anything my mom cook. Yeah, I miss my mom's home cook food very badly. Like, even now, my mom has passed away like more than 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Until today, I still miss her food.
Favorite music to listen to?
I love to listen to music, but there's no one particular genre I like. But if you absolutely have to ask me to choose, there's retro lah. Music from the 80s or early 90s. My time.
I only, that era, I only know what ABBA, Bee Gees, this kind, Panthers.
Dude, no, Bee Gees is before my time. I'm not that old.
That's even before. Okay.
Bee Gees is more 70s.
What's one lesson prison taught you?
I think the most important lesson that I've learned in prison is learn to let go. Things that are not in your control, learn to let go. Because if we don't learn to let go and we want to pursue the matter to have a premature ending, premature in the sense we want to force it to end right now, most of the time it will not end well. Some things in life you don't need the answer to. You don't need to find the answer. You don't even need to know the answer. It is what it is.
What's one message you will give your younger self?
No brainer. Don't do drugs. More importantly, listen to what your mom said. Your mom is a very wise woman.
To close off the episode, can you let our audience know where they can find you on social media?
If you want to follow me on social media or find me, my name is Bruce Mathieu. My Matthew is spelled Mathieu. It's the name I use on Facebook. It's the name I use on Instagram, Bruce Mathieu _SG. And it's also the name I use on TikTok, Bruce Mathieu 8. You can Google up my name and you can find all my social media there. Oh, guys, do follow us. Yeah, I'm honey steady.
Your surname not very difficult to find on Google. There's like no replicate one.
So if you type Bruce and M, I'm pretty sure Google will autofill.
Okay, so thank you, Bruce, for your time, and really all the best to you. And I hope I can bring you on for a return episode.
Thank you for having me. Stay safe.